Hello and welcome. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can make a simple counter or timer on a web page. And we are going to use combination of three languages. We are going to use HTML language to make the structure of the web page and the buttons and text and other things. Then we are also going to use what we call cascading style sheets or CSS to style the page, to put colors, and to arrange things to look neat. Finally, we are going to use a language called JavaScript to add actions to the text, especially the 2 zeros, so that they are able to count when the start button is pressed. When the stop button is pressed, then the counting should pause or stop. If you want to start counting afresh, you have to refresh the web page, then the counting will start again. To do that, it is very simple. We are going to use Notepad for writing our code. I will start Notepad. Now here is where I will do my everything. The first thing is to write HTML code so that we are able to create the structure of the page. We will also use CSS to style it. Then the final work will be to put the actions with JavaScript code. I will start my HTML and close it down here. So this tag is creating a web page and ending it. So here we have the head part of the page, and here I will start the body part of the page, then close the body down here. It is important to put my title for the page, so the title will come up here and the title will be timer, just like that. Below this title tag, I will write the tags for the CSS. Remember, CSS is used to style or to make the page look attractive. So in between these two tags, I will write CSS code later, not now. Then I will simply come here and write the heading for my timer page. So I will just use H1 and I will write here counting in sec and min, and simply close that H1 tag. This is our heading, and below this heading I want to write the 2 zeros, and these 2 zeros must be well arranged. 1 0 on the left and another 0 on the right. To arrange them left and right, I will use a table. So I will go ahead and create a table using the table tag, just like that. In this table, I will create 2 rows, 1 row for the titles, and the second row will be for the 2 zeros, which will be increasing when counting happens. To create a row, I will use tr for creating a row, or you can call it table row, tr, and this tr must also be closed with a slash. So these tr tags are for creating one row. I will copy them below here so that I create the second row. So I have table row 1 and table row 2. I will go to the first row and create a box in the row. To create a box, you use TD to create a box. So this is TD, meaning one box. In full, you can call it table data. So I will copy this box and paste that tag here so that I have two boxes. I will move and copy these two boxes to the second row. This is the second row, so I want to paste the two boxes here so that now I have four boxes. I have two rows and each row has two boxes. So in the first box, which is here, I am going to write the word min for the minutes, and in the second box, the word sec. Then I will go ahead, or let me just write it in full, minutes, and this one seconds, just like that. I will come down here and write a 0. Then in the other box, I also write 0. Then I want to change these zeros, the two zeros, this one and this one, into paragraphs. Then I name the paragraphs. So I will come before this 0 and simply put p tag for the paragraph and close it on the other end with slash and p. I will come also before this 0 and put p for the paragraph and close it on the other end of the 0, just like that. So I will come also and name this paragraph. I want to give it the name because it will be counting in minutes. So I want to give it the name. Let me just call it ID and call it min. I will also come to the other paragraph, this one. This is the paragraph for the seconds. Open it, then write ID and give it the name sec. Okay, so I have a paragraph called min, then the other paragraph is called sec. I will come down here below this table and create two buttons. Before I create buttons, I want to create a space with br tag, an empty line. Then below that empty line, I will come here and create the first button with input type. Of course, this should be submit. Then to put a label on top of this button, I will use value and put the label on it called start. Then I have to define an action when this button is clicked. So I want that action to be start. When it is clicked, it will start counting. This one is a function which I will define later. So I will just copy this line for the button and paste it here. Then modify this to create the second stop button. And now the function for the stop should be called stop, just like that. I will go ahead and save this page. I can create a folder here and call it timer and give this file the name timer. .html. So I am saving it within the timer folder, and the name of the file is timer.html. Then I will just save. Coming to my folder, I can open it now and double click this file. Now you can see my web page is showing the two zeros, one on the left and one on the right, and the two buttons. So the next step is to style this page so that everything looks neat. These zeros, I want them red, the heading blue, and these two zeros, I will separate them a bit by increasing the size of the table. And to do that, we'll come back to my notepad. And this time, the first thing I want to do, I want to increase the width of this table so that these two zeros are apart. I just write near width, just write here width. And I can give it 200 and can give it 200. Let me try 230. Then the next thing is to color this heading to blue, H1. So I will just come here in the CSS style tags and write H1. Then I will just write here color colon blue. And the next one is to come and give these two zeros colors and also increase their size. So I will use these names, the ID, to refer to them in the CSS by just putting, you have to, if you are calling an ID, you have to put the hashtag, then the ID's name. Then now I can go ahead and define what I want. So I will put a comma here and also refer to the second ID. So I am styling the two IDs, min and sec, and here I'm separating them with a comma. And there is a hashtag before the ID name. So I will start with the color and give it a red color. Then for the font, I will give them a size of 48 points. Just write 48 points, then space, then you can choose any font. Let me choose Arial, then end with the semicolon. Now I will go ahead and save this change. Then I check it here by refreshing the web page, and now you can see my zeros are big and also the heading has changed to blue. So the next thing to do is to ensure now these buttons have actions so that when I click them, the counting starts. And to do that, I will simply go back to my code and come down here between these two tags and separate them. Now I want to add here the JavaScript code for the actions. Now to do that, you have to start the script tag and you have to close the script tag. Now the first thing is to create memory locations where you are going to save some values which are used in counting. Like I need to save minute and I need to save seconds before showing them on the web page. So I will just come here and create a memory location, and memory locations which save things are known as variables, and we write it in short as VAR. So I will define one called M to carry minutes, and I will give it 0 at the moment. Then I will create another one for seconds with S and give it a 0 at the moment. Finally, I will create another one for the timer. I call it T. The next thing is to come and pick this name for the first function. That is the function to start the action. So I will write a function, then paste the name. Then I have to create 2 curly brackets like that. Now in between the curly brackets, I will start my T by just writing here set interval like that. This one will start the counting. So this is a function which will start the counting. So by writing run 1000, this means after 1000 milliseconds or 1 second, 1000 milliseconds is equivalent to 1 second. So what I want is after 1 second, it should be doing run. I have to come and define what is this run. So I will just come down here and create another function called run, just like this. So in the run, I will just come and do this. I will write a document dot get element by ID. Then inside we have quotation marks. So I will come and pick an element, and the name of that element is this min. Let me start with sec. I want to pick it, so I will copy it and put it inside here. So this means go to the document and pick an element called sec, and that is this paragraph with that 0. Then write whatever you want in it, and to write into it what I want is to do like this. I just want to carry what will be in the sec or the variable for the seconds and give it to that paragraph like that. I also want to copy this line and just paste it below here. So I also want to go to the same document, and this time I want to pick this ID min and put it here. Then I want it to show what will be in the minutes, M for minutes, like that. So this means these are the zeros, and they will contain the values which will be changing of this S and M. Then after that, this is what I want. I want it to come here and do some thinking or logical tests. So here I will ask computer to check if what is in S is less than 59. This is the less than sign. Check what is in S. If it is less than 59, If it is less than 59, you take what is in S, then keep adding 1 to it until it reaches 59. And when it reaches 59, the next step, I don't want it to write 60, so I will come here and write else. By else I mean when here S is now more than 59, it should not do this, but instead it should come and do what is below here. And what is below here is to take S and give it a 0, which means start counting from 0, then go to M and take what is in M and add a 1. Okay, so you start counting in seconds, then for the minutes you add 1. Finally, I want to define the last function for the stop, so I will just come down here and write function, then paste stop there. And in the stop, it is very simple. I want this T to stop. So I will simply come here and write clear interval T, meaning stop counting. So this is my code. I'm going ahead and saving the changes. Then I will refresh this web page and start my action. You can see now it is counting in seconds. We want to see if it reaches 59, seconds will turn to 0. Then on the side of minutes, it should add 1, so that we have 1 minute like that. This counter is very important because in sports we need something which can count how many minutes or hours somebody is running, and sometimes you want to know if somebody has beaten the world record. You can also use it in science practicals to time a reaction which is running, like hitting something. You can see now it is 58, 59. You can see now we've reached 1 minute, and this is good. Our counter is working very well. Let us see if it will also add 1, so that we have 2 minutes on the other side, so that we are sure that it is working well. The way I said, you can use this timer in the lab if you are heating maybe water and you want to record after every minute, you want to know the temperature. You can use this to time yourself. We are approaching the second minute. Let us see if it will change into 2 minutes. Then we will be sure that the timer is working perfectly. You can see it has counted 2 minutes, and this timer is now working perfectly. I can even come here and stop it, and I can even start it again here, and I can even refresh it so that it starts counting.